Just like to offer a big shout out to Touchdown Digital for sponsoring this week's video. Hi guys, welcome back to the Sniper Photography. It's so good to have you all here today. Look, I want to talk to you about 7 things which I see people, or the 7 mistakes or 7 things that people do that would really, they're putting their gear and, well, they're putting their gear in harm's way, quite frankly, or they're making sure that they're not getting sharp images. So these 7 things are what I've learnt from, but I still see people doing it. I see it on YouTube all the time as well, people doing this, and I can't believe that they're doing it. Whether they realise they're doing it or not, it doesn't matter. I don't think you should be doing these things. If you are doing them, it'd be great if you would stop doing them. I mean, it's up to you, but these 7 things I believe are very, very important, and most of these things I learnt through bloody sheer cold hard experience many years ago. So having said that, let's get started with number 1. Putting your bag on the sand is a definite no-no. If you're a seascape photographer and you're out on the beach around headlands, don't take your bag off your shoulders, off your back, and put it on the sand, because you're inviting trouble there. You could be really engrossed in capturing really nice images, and all of a sudden you turn around and your bag's floating past you in the receding waves going back out to sea. I've seen that happen many times. It happened to me very, very early on in the piece in my photographic career, and it only happened once and never again. So if you're a seascape photographer, don't take your camera bag off your back or your shoulders and put it on the sand. Don't put your camera bag on the sand. What I do is have a small shoulder bag and only take very minimal sort of gear, maybe a spare lens, cleaning cloths and filters, all in the one bag, and it's on my person or on my body at all times, especially when I'm around salt water. So I never ever take my camera bag off my back and put it on the sand, and I suggest you don't do the same. Number 2, well, here we go again. Raising that center column, the blur maker is what I call it, the blur maker. I see it so many times, people raising the center column because they've got to get that extra height, because they could be a tall person and they don't want to crouch down. Well, quite frankly, you're inviting trouble there once again. If you like soft images, go ahead, raise your center column. Simple as that, because you will get these images that seem to be just sort of like off. And I've had people come up to me and say, Glenn, my images seem to be blurry. Well, they're not blurry, they were soft because they raised that center column and there was a slight movement. You don't really want to raise your center column if you can help it. If you've got a tripod that has a center column, I suggest you don't raise it. You might have to crouch down low, but you're not hunched over all day, for God's sake. You know, I mean, just don't raise that center column, because when you raise the center column, effectively what you've got a monopod on top of your tripod. Think about it. Because the most stable part of your tripod is the shoulder where the ball head sits. So once you raise that center column up, well, then you're inviting trouble. You're looking at a very unstable platform for your camera. If you have a tripod that has a center column, try not to extend it, leave it where it is, or try and take it out and replace that center column with a shorty center column. It's probably around about 10-15 centimetres in length. They're very short, but they do work, and you'll still be able to put your ball head on top. So raising a center column on your tripod is a definite no-no. If you're in the market for a new tripod, try and buy one that does not have a center column. It's just no good. Don't raise it if you've got one. If you're buying a new tripod, try and get a tripod that goes to between 175 and 190 centimetres without raising a center column. Preferably buy a tripod that does not have the blur maker or the center column. Number 3. Now, this might look cool, and I've seen it on YouTube videos every day, and that's walking around with your camera on your top of your tripod, resting on your shoulder. So you're walking around, with your tripod on your shoulder with your camera attached. Once again, asking for trouble. I seen a fellow do that once. I did it too. I fell over and damaged a $5,500 piece of equipment. because I was lazy. I didn't want to take my camera off the tripod. I just wanted to go over there, and I fell over. It was very slimy near the waterfall, fell over, damaged. So don't walk around with your tripod on your shoulder with your camera attached. Might look cool, might save you time, but in the long run, it will cost you if you fall over. So don't walk around with your tripod with your camera attached on your shoulder. Might look cool, but don't do it. Number 4. Here's another thing that really I don't get. Well, I do get it because it's convenient, and that's attaching your filter bag to your tripod. Anything at all that you attach to your tripod, you're inviting trouble because it could move. So any movement with your tripod is going to result in soft images. You're not going to get pin sharp images. You might think you will, but you won't. So attaching your filter bag to your tripod is a no, don't do it. It might look cool, once again, on YouTube, might look good out in the field. It's very convenient. I know it is. They're right in front of you. But don't attach anything to your tripod. And that includes your filter bag. Number 5. Hanging your camera bag off the bottom of that darn centre column on your tripod on that hook. I can't believe that tripod manufacturers recommend this. And I see it on YouTube quite a lot here on YouTube. I see it out in the field. People seem to think they'll get more stability by hanging your camera bag off the bottom of your tripod. That is a disaster waiting to happen for your images. You won't get sharp images by thinking that you're going to have more stability by hanging a 10 or 15 or 20 kilo camera bag off the base of your tripod hooked on that hook of the center column. Don't hang anything off the bottom of your tripod for stability. If anything, lower your tripod down for more stability. But whatever you do, don't hang your camera bag off the center column on your tripod for more stability, because it won't happen. So that's, what's that, number 4? That's number 5. Number 6. What's number 6? Changing lenses. Yes, number 6. I see this all the time. If you have to change lenses out in the field, don't have your camera pointing up. Don't have your camera pointing up and then changing your lens like that. Have your camera pointing down. Have your camera pointing down and put your lens up like that. Because if you have a camera up, dust and dirt can fall inside the camera. So have your camera down, facing down with the lens off, and then put your lens upwards like that. That's how you change your lens out in the field. It's much better for you. It's safety. And you're eliminating the risk of having dirt fall into the inside of your camera around the sensor area if you've got your lens off the front of your camera and you're pointing your camera up and you're putting your lens like that. Do it the other way around. Have your camera down like that and screw the lens up from an upward motion. That way you'll stop any dust or dirt falling inside your camera whilst you're out there changing lenses out in the field. Now the last one. Now I've never owned one of these, never have, never will. I don't like them. Once again, they look cool. You might look good on a YouTube video walking around with this camera thing or camera clip on your camera bag there. You've seen them. The camera fits like that and you're walking around, your hands free, and you might be tripod free, and you just pull the camera out and away you go. Quick story, I seen a lady fall over in the Blue Mountains here. She tripped over some tree roots there, fell over and broke a $6,500 camera. The lens just snapped off the front of the camera. Why? Because she had one of those darn clips on her backpack and the camera was clipped onto it, and she fell over, and the full force, she landed on top of the camera and just smashed the nick onto smithereens. And it was, $6,000 worth of camera. She was devastated, this poor lady, because she had it on one of these dastardly clips on here. Once again, it might look cool, might be a good, cool kid in the block, but eventually you'll fall over, and if you've got that camera there on that bloody stupid clip, well, you're in trouble. You could damage your camera, and I don't want that to happen to you. So don't buy one of them clips. If you've got one, don't use it. I mean, why? Why? I mean, as I said, it might be convenient, but if it's here and you fall over, there's a good chance you'll damage your camera and your lens like this poor lady did. not that long ago. So they're the 7 things that I see people doing, which I really don't like them to do. If you're doing it, maybe it's time that you watch this video over again and then readjust the way you do things with your photography, with your camera bag, your tripods and changing lenses and so forth. But these things have happened to me, and I've learned by my mistakes over the years. They don't happen anymore because, as I say, to learn photography, you've got to make mistakes, and that's how you learn, and these 7 are mistakes. And I think it's very important to bring up here on YouTube, actually. As I said, I see this all the time. Please don't do it. Don't do any of those things. Change what you're doing. Look after your gear. Simple things like that, and it'll save you a lot of heartache and a lot of financial stress. So that's it for another episode of Sniper Photography. If you're new here, please, well, you know what to do. Just hit that subscribe button and the bell next door. You know what to do. So that's it for another episode of Sniper Photography. If you've got any comments or questions, please put them down below and I'd get back to you as soon as I can. So until next time, my name's Glenn Samuel. You've been watching Sniper Photography. And as I always say, be nice to yourself, family and friends, but most of all, you keep shooting and keep smiling. Bye for now.